create an identity, and with the identity, they basically get this like daemon, like in Historic Materials. Have you read those books or movies?
What is it called?
Historic Materials.
Looking it up.
Philip Pullman. Anyway, they have like every character has like a daemon, you know, like a companion.
Oh yeah, I see. Yeah.
And so it's like
Yeah. So you want each companion to be different. So maybe we need to match and have that as in one-on-one chats that is still going to be visible to the, say, to you or to the public, but still having this intimate spaces created with one-on-one. I mean, it can be just a week of trials, 2 weeks of trials with one person. Then we switch, like in a round later like manner. Just switch from one person to another, and we test, these things. This is a
that's why I think it's better
group.
to just like basically build this product. I don't know, maybe for $1,000, and then basically have a website and then sell it, and then basically I mean, all it can do is just basically a device that can run an LLM, and you can talk to it in some sense, for your mental health stuff.
But again, in the
But
beginning, it would
like,
be a person that you speak with to understand the
but
kind
the
of
thing
people.
is, like, a lot of people offering that, and it's very obvious. Everybody can build something like that. It's almost like the you're interacting with the network, right away. That's where the routing and the shipping comes in,
Yeah.
So in a way, it's like even the AI is not maybe the main thing yet, because that's something. Obviously, we can integrate that, but that anyone. I mean, that you can get that anywhere, right? I mean, people have ChatGPT or Grok or like Claude or all these different things, and like it's like a search and like it's like a search engine. It's very general purpose, But if you want to offer something like this custom made for like mental health or something like that, I mean, that will require more research and more data, I think, I think that's why it needs to be simple. Like I said, the idea of the shipping from the existing network. So it's basically like, how like you can broadcast a message to the network, and then maybe we can connect you to different resources or people. I think that's the best thing, because then I can go and that's where we can do the mechanical turking. We can connect people individually, like, based on their request.
I like that.
So maybe that's like, the first step is just like, you create like an identity, like in a video game where you can create your character, and maybe that's like, I don't know, $25 or something, and then you create the identity, and then basically with that identity you can go into the network, and then you can basically broadcast messages, and then maybe we can connect people to things like, for example, I have a panic attack about this or anxiety about this, how can you, and then we're just using basically the network as a way of like connecting and moving things and people, but even that is also still very generic. It's not very concrete, I guess. It's not really a product, is it?
We need to write down all the use cases or like actual concrete examples of what kind of issues that one can.
Like, is the product more like Amazon, or is the product more like a Tesla, where it's a car and you drive in the car? Or is it more like Amazon, where you go on a website and you search for something, and like, I think that's where it makes more sense to like, it should be more like Amazon at the beginning, I think, because I talked about this last time. It's like you're using existing product and services, and you're connecting people to that,
Yeah, and then again, the delivery of dreams. That the first, on one of the first iterations of this was like, how do you dream deliver? Deliver those dreams or deliver certain value.
But that's still, it's not very concrete. This is still very general.
Well, again, like you need to, again, this is again, it makes it more concrete as you think about again the structure that is going to be put in. What would be the prompts, types? What would be the answer types? Give people a little bit more of structure so that they can feel that they have certain, I guess, rules to follow, that would be replicating the technological opportunities. Yeah, like whatever the technology can do. Um, and yes, it would not be immediate, but at least yeah, like people will be sharing their own actual problems, and you can start really making sense of these problems, and generally like collecting data in terms of like what kind of technology it will be in the end. This is a good start. I mean, again, it doesn't cost any money. You just need to come up with a structure to guide people through in this experiment. It can be very simple.
Well, again, I think like it's so like think about like Jeff Bezos was like and again, I guess there's no point in comparing yourself to other people, but like he must have okay, he was like the internet is happening. Okay, what's something where you can use the internet to build a business around it, And then he was thinking about books and basically how can you use the internet to sell books. And so then he was thinking, okay, well, you need to create a store online on a website. People can go there, they can browse through different books, and then we need to basically take the order, take the payment, which at the time, like during the internet times, like it was hard to like even have payments, through credit card. That was not so accepted back then. And then, you'd have to think about, okay, where do I get the book from? And then how do I ship the book? And those are a lot of different things, but it seems very clear, like, okay, what you have to do there. Now with this, it's just like, there's all these different ideas and so many different fields. And it's not really clear, okay, well, I guess, okay, well, we can use existing trends in AI and in crypto and in neuroscience technology to basically give people access to something that already exists. And we're just shipping it in a way.
Well, instead of the search engine.
In a way, basically, we need to basically build a network of agents that basically fulfill different requests. And then, like, you can make money from this because you can say, okay, well, $5 per shipping, something like that.
Yeah.
And so let's say the request is like, I have like, it doesn't even need to be about mental health, like, it's just basically different requests from different people, and you fulfill them, and then you connect people.
That's it. Does that really exist? I mean, it exists in these intimate chats where, say I have a chat with a building, and then like my building.
But I guess for more like non-tangible goods, like, related to the mind,
Yeah, that's it. So what that would be?
But like, what is the equivalent of a book? I don't even know if it makes sense to like compare this to Amazon, but like.
It does. It does.
What's the book? There needs to be some. It can't be these esoteric requests, I mean, at the beginning, the requests need to be only one type of request,
Okay. So what would
because
be
otherwise it's just like too complicated to fulfill.
What would be that request then? What's the first request that comes to mind?
Yeah, what's something I would spend money on? The problem is that's like all this stuff costs a lot of money. Not only the shipping, but also the product itself. You have to spend money on.
Again, what kind of request do you think it would be worth to spend say $10, $5 on fulfilling? Can you recommend me a professional in this, or I'm looking for someone to speak with now about this and this, and someone of expertise can be found. But again, we need to design it so the way that AI can do it later.
Yeah, but again, like, that's not the problem. When you have something, AI is just basically obviously much faster, much more intelligent in finding patterns and things, but like it comes from our intelligence. So it's just like to bootstrap this, maybe we don't need AI or crypto, like, you know, just using AI makes it more complicated, I guess.
In general.
Because the thing is, like, what is, like, for example, it needs to be something where we can say, okay, well, like Airbnb, they went to a conference and there was extra space and someone offered that extra space, and then basically the transaction, there was value there. And then you can see that, well, if we do this 1,000 times, that's a lot of value created, you know?
Sure.
So it's like, what is the value that's created here? Like, you know, it's basically someone that has difficulty finding basically something, and then it's like basically you need to like in some ways it's also this extra space, or like an Uber is like an extra driver that the market didn't realize existed yet, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
And so I think like a lot of problems other people can solve, you know? Like, you know, therapy is usually just like talking to someone else, you know? I mean, we don't want to do therapy in the traditional sense where, like, you know, you get a therapist, you talk to the same therapist. We don't want to do the therapy that Elon Musk wouldn't subscribe to, like, you know? So it can't be called therapy, and it's not really like traditional therapy. But it needs to be like identifying what are your problems, because in a way it's like identifying your mental blocks and then basically unblocking you, like, you know, so you get mental energy, because in a way we're providing mental energy. So you're like basically you can fulfill your dreams because the mental blocks are gone, you know. And so it's like you know, you need obviously like there can't be the expectation of like this, you know, solving mental health problems yet, but like
but like, provide mental energy.
For example, what are your problems related to mental? I don't even know if people want to talk about.
Yeah, I do. You know? Look, I want to die. I think about death a lot, and it scares me because when I run out of money, if I don't have time, and I have a runway of about 3 months, maybe a little less. When it happens by November, I might not be able to handle that if I don't have any new resource of money coming in. So that's quite scary. I'm been very, very honest about thinking about death, about, you know, that I just not worth it. You know, there's no one project that I feel. I mean, there is you know, you know. So I kind of like I'm holding on to you because I don't want to die. You know, I want to create something of value. I want to support someone like you with such vision that is so ambitious for years ahead. That's already a huge help. What doesn't mean that I don't feel the feeling, oh, I need to die at some points. I still do. Why? I don't know, maybe this can be resolved, you know, with the network, with the work that you're doing. Just to give a little bit.
I think you mentioned last time you wanted to see how you can leverage your healing skills to make money, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, I started from the most dark one, the darkest secret, let's just put it that way. But generally, in practical terms, I would love to do readings for people and make space for people to be able to, you know, monetize the skill. Yeah. And I don't know any place online that I can do it, and I don't want to do like go and join one of the platforms that I sent you there and be one of the hundreds and hundreds of psychics there, you know. Yeah. And you also need to do social media, blah blah blah, and I don't want to do it. My big problem is that everyone's saying I need to be on social media in order to promote anything that I'm doing, and I kind of like disagree, you know. But there's no other choice, there's no other solution now. Like offline marketing.
Well, maybe
peer-to-peer, you know, word of mouth.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, maybe it makes sense to have like an Airbnb for healing spaces, you know.
Yeah. For spaces, exactly. For spaces, it doesn't need to be like, oh, this is a mental health support group. This is the spiritual blah 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 channeling. It's just like a very generic. Ooh, you know what? Neutral space we need. Meet yourself, you know, meet your reflection and start.
Because the thing, I think at the end of the day, talking with an AI is again very isolating, you know.
Yeah.
and talking to a machine, like, even if it's very smart, I think, like, human connection is important,
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we can't ignore it. Yeah.
So maybe, yeah, maybe just hosting different spaces, and people spend money, like, they spend like $5 or something, I don't know, for a space, and there's only 20 spaces or something, or like 10 seats,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and then basically you have one guide, and then it's about a specific topic or something like that, but not in a way where it's like, so this heavy therapy about yourself,